Media used to play a big vital role, where is 32 ma 32 छ जब सरकारको भन्दाखेरि because there is no opposition who can raise the voice in the assembly भन्दाखेरि त media should play a big role whereas opposition को role चाहिँ media ले play गर्छ ताकि check and balance गर्न सकोस् भनेर हो किन हजुर
That was always the case. That was always the media's role. Apart from reporting, reporting garnu is only one part of our job. As journalists, it is our job to also ask questions. When a government comes with such brute majority of 32 out of 32, it becomes difficult to do that. Because the government, not because the government will beat me up, but because the government does not have a need to answer my questions.
तपाईले जुन भन्नुभयो कि 32 मा 32 पहिला पनि आएको थियो तर पहिला जुन प्रकारको डिजिटल मिडियाले जुन प्रकारको इम्प्याक्ट त्यो थिएन नि त त्यो सुविधा थिएन त अहिले त त्यो इम्प्याक्ट गर्नु पाइरहेको छ नि त एज अ टुल युज गरिरहेको छ इभन द पोलिटिकल पार्टिज अल्सो दे आर युजिङ एज देयर टुल डिजिटल मिडियालाई तर हामीले हेऱ्यो भने किनकि वेरेज हामीले अगर नेसनल मिडियासँग हामीले अगर तुलना गऱ्यो भने नेसनल मिडियामा हामी हेर्छ कि बाइस भइरहेको छ भनिरहेको छ वेरेज तर त्यो नेसनल इन्टिग्रिटीको भित्र तर वेरेज इन स्टेट स्मल स्टेटमा चाहिँ अगर मिडियाले राम्रो रोल गरेन भने चाहिँ कतिकोसम्म चाहिँ इम्प्याक्ट हुनसक्छ.
So as media persons, our responsibility, I think, is to encourage more discussion. You are right. 32 मा 32 हुँदाखेरि पहिला पनि भएको सेम सिचुएसन 32 मा 32 हुँदाखेरि there is not enough, what do you say, chalpal, right? You don't have enough discussion. Before a decision is taken, there is not enough consultation. In the absence of any opposition, in the absence of any pressure. So what is opposition? Opposition is not just members in the assembly.
Yeah.
पहिला सिक्किममा election elect भएको हो opposition, and then they switch sides.
Switch, yeah, right.
Because the problem right now, what I said earlier is, what will happen if you do very deadly, strong journalism? If the government chooses to ignore you, no one is coming out on the streets.
Yeah, right.
Saying, oh, he said such a nice thing, why don't you listen? Right? So the real danger, so the problem is not the numbers, the problem is the absence of pressure.
Individually गरेको चाहिँ कोही बाटोमा आउँदैन. Whenever you do a strong journalism, or you can stand against the government also. भनेको चाहिँ कुन प्रकारले चाहिँ जर्नलिजम गर्नु चाहिँ सठिक हुन्छ so that they will prefer it.
No, it's very simple. The rules don't change. Situation जे पनि भयो भने journalism rules don't change.
Okay.
Our job is the same. We have to be truthful. Facts matter. We have to try and give as complete a story as possible. We do not add our own opinion because opinions change. Right? We cannot doctor a story. I think a lot of people do that. Our job is to inform the society, and hopefully the society
will decide what to do. Yeah, means journalist shouldn't be an activist. You mean
it gets problematic, right? Because the moment you become part of any cause, then you cannot report on that cause properly. Then you are already biased.
Bias, yeah.
As it is, we are biased. And then, especially then, if you become party to a movement or something like that, then your journalism gets compromised. Right? So if you want to serve a cause, if you want to serve an issue well, do your job well is all I say.
These days, every political party have their own media channel, right? And their own, I think they have a good setup. They have one proper media channel setup. So,
how I have credibility, no? I mean, because not for credibility, we know that this is one side of the story.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. So, how to keep themselves existence? What I'm trying to say that they already have a good equipment, everything they have a world because they have a good money. No, like financially they are very strong. So, whosoever running a small media house, so no, yeah, automatically, अब ठुलो पैसाले त सानो त दबाइहाल्छ नि त. Even though they used to have a large audience नि त. अनि त्यो सानो जसले गरिरहेको छ उनीहरूले चाहिँ कुन प्रकारले चाहिँ आफ्नो लेभल माथि गर्नुको लागि चाहिँ उहाँले चाहिँ त्यो खाले चाहिँ कामहरू गरोस् त्यो खाले चाहिँ आफ्नो एक्जिस्टेन्सलाई चाहिँ सस्टेन गर्न सकोस् जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई.
You have to create better content.
हामीले लगातार हेरिरहेको छौँ है मिडिया भनेको जहाँ पाए त्यहाँ मिडिया भइरहेको छ तर जसले कोर मिडिया जसले मेन स्ट्रिम मिडियाको प्ले गर्नुपर्ने किनकि हामीले सिक्किम सरकारमा यहाँ हेऱ्यौँ 32 को 32 र मिडियाको के कस्तो भूमिका हुनुपर्ने यतिखेर ताकि चेक एन्ड ब्यालेन्स गर्नुको लागि भन्दाखेरि यो सबै सन्दर्भमा आज हाम्रो साथमा पेमा हुनुहुन्छ. हेलो नमस्कार हजुर. तपाईँको दाइ लामो एक्सपिरियन्स छ है जर्नलिजममा भन्दाखेरि अहिले जुन करेन्टली जुन चलिरहेछ है पहाडमा के प्रकारको मिडियाको प्ले गरिरहेछ के लाग्छ कि मिडियाले सही ढङ्गले जुन प्रकारको उहाँको रोल हुनु पनि त्यो प्ले भइरहेको छ?
Contexts. We have to look at the context in which you are asking this question. So, what is the role of the media if it is to inform the people about what is happening, reporting over ne? I think there are enough pages, publications that are telling people about what is कुन चाहिँ ठाउँमा के घटना भयो त्यो चाहिँ खबर पुगिरहेको छ. And as for are they doing a good job of it? I mean, no, because there is always room for improvement. अब हामीले media is doing a perfect job right now भने then our job is over, right? There is no room for improvement. So are they doing a better job than the situation in Sikkim 10 years back? Probably, as far as coverage goes. So at present, you are in the media as well now. Sikkim ke pani ghatna, if it happens, someone or the other will always report it. So in that sense, I think coverage-wise, okay.
Coverage-wise, okay.
Lots of other things that...
But I know धेरै नेगेटिभहरू पनि पर्ने because media used to play a big vital role हैन. Where is 32 मा 32 छ जब सरकारको भन्दाखेरि because there's no opposition who can raise the voice हैन in the assembly भन्दाखेरि त media should play a big role हैन. Whereas opposition को role चाहिँ media ले play गर्छ ताकि check and balance गर्न सकोस् भनेर हो हैन.
Right, हजुर. That was always the case. That was always the media's role. Apart from reporting, reporting garnu is only one part of our job. As journalists, it is our job to also ask questions.
Yeah.
To hold power to account, as we say. So, yes, that is our job. When a government comes with such brute majority of 32 out of 32, it becomes difficult to do that. Because the government, not because the government will beat me up, but because the government does not have a need to answer my questions. Now,
Yeah.
and this is not the first time that Sikkim ma 32
I say yeah in the past.
So what we have to keep in mind is, what does it mean when a political party wins such absolute majority? It means two things. One, that the people are very happy. Two, that the people are very scared. So they'll vote in a particular way. In both these situations, we don't have an environment in which we can be free. Because media freedom तपाईं र मेरो आँटमा डिपेन्ड हुँदैन नि.
हजुर.
Right? Individually is different, right? You might be very brave, I might not be that brave. You individual को कुरा हो. But as an institution, we get our strength and our courage from our audience. And this is the audience. We now have an audience that does not believe in having a strong opposition of opposition. So then it's an interesting thing. Like for example, everyone will come to you and say, तपाईले यो किन रिपोर्ट गरेन, त्यो किन रिपोर्ट गरेन, यस्तो किन भनेन, त्यस्तो किन भनेन, right? Why don't they ask that to their leaders? Because my job is not to go in parliament or come out on the streets. My job is to report and get to the truth. This is my job as well, right? So in such an environment, then when you have some reporters who do very strong stuff, let's say, who is their audience there? They're doing it, someone else is firing the gun from their shoulder, isn't it? So that problem is there. But all said and done, that's not an excuse. It's that we have to do better.
तपाईले जुन भन्नुभयो कि 32 मा 32 पहिला पनि आएको थियो तर पहिला जुन प्रकारको डिजिटल मिडियाले जुन प्रकारले इम्प्याक्ट त्यो थिएन नि त, त्यो सुविधा थिएन त. अहिले त त्यो इम्प्याक्ट गर्नु पाइरहेको छ नि त. एज अ टुल हैन युज गरिरहेको छ. इभन द पोलिटिकल पार्टिज अल्सो दे आर युजिङ एज देयर टुल हैन डिजिटल मिडियालाई. तर हामीले हेर्यो भने किनकि वेरेज हामीले अगर नेसनल मिडियासँग हामीले अगर तुलना गर्यो भने नेसनल मिडियामा हामी हेर्छ कि बाइस भइरहेको छ भनिरहेको छ. वेरेज तर त्यो नेसनल इन्टिग्रिटीको भित्र तर वेरेज इन स्टेट स्मल स्टेटमा चाहिँ अगर मिडियाले राम्रो रोल गरेन भने चाहिँ कतिकोसम्म चाहिँ इम्प्याक्ट हुनसक्छ र स्टेट को लाइक त्यो upward जान्छ कि backward रहेछ.
No, come on. It's a very recently, I heard someone say this, I can't remember who, but that person said that democracy is not just the freedom to speak. It is also the responsibility to listen. So, अहिले पनि no one, like there are no gatekeepers. तपाईले ठिकै भन्नुभयो. They are like, if you want to start a page, you have something to say, you can start your own channel at a very nominal manner and get an audience if you're good. So gatekeepers are enough. So we should have seen an explosion of very intelligent and informed voices on this space. I don't know that space very well. Tapaiलाई याद छ होला, what kind of content is being generated, but I don't think very great content that Sikkim deserves or requires is being done. So when you don't have a free press, everything goes backwards. And everybody needs to understand this. The officers, the politicians, the party in government, the parties in opposition, everyone has to understand that a strong media is there not to create trouble or embarrass you. It is there to give you a voice when you need it. Right now, you might not need it. You might be the top officer, everyone is opening the door for you. But tomorrow, when you get into a situation where you want one, when you're not being treated fairly, because when do people need media? Real media, respectable and responsible media is when they are in trouble. And if you do not support media in good times, then when the trouble comes, we will not be equipped to help at that time. So everyone has to understand this. I mean, we are part of the problem as well, right? We have to keep pushing the boundaries and maybe we don't do that.
Sir, as a journalist, तपाईले कुन प्रकारले चाहिँ यो एनालाइज गरिराख्नु भएको छ जुन करेन्ट सिचुएसन जुन सिक्किमको छ हैन करेन्ट सिनारियो जुन पोलिटिकल सिनारियो जुन प्रकारको क्रिएट भइरहेको छ त्यो के लाइक पोजिटिभ वेमा छ या
Political scenario as in 32
not 32 the government is coming up with some schemes and they are a step toward the development and some they are functioning, some officers are there functioning in different हैन त्यसमा प्रोग्रामहरुतिर भन्दाखेरि के लाग्छ कि किनकि बारम्बार हामीले अपोजिसनको तपाईले सुनिराख्नु भएको छ वी आर सेइङ दैट स्टेट इज इन डेप तर वेयर इज अल स्टेट आर डेप तर यो डेप पुनः युज भइरहेको छ हैन अनि जहाँ फोकस हुनुपर्ने त्यो फोकस भएको छैन वेयर द स्टेट इज लिडिङ टुवर्ड्स द इन अ like a golden era.
We have to believe as citizens, as professionals, that the golden era is in the future.
Okay.
Right? Because if the golden era is in the past, then your best days are over. Now everything is down here. So we have to, and are things better now? It depends on how you look at it, right? Of course things are better.
Things are better.
Most economic indicators, everything else, right? There's more media. So things will get better. But does that mean that they are brilliant? No. Could they have been better? Of course. Until we keep telling ourselves that we could have done better, Sikkim will not improve. Right? You cannot say, oh, this is the perfect, we've achieved perfection. Yehi our sabbanda best system of like, what will you and I do? What will our children do, right?
Yeah.
So their contribution, you have to keep adding to it. So we have to always believe that, of course, the better days are in the future. And of course, because better days will happen because of our contribution to that process. So as media persons, our responsibility, I think, is to encourage more discussion. You are right. 32 मा 32 हुँदाखेरि पहिला पनि भएको same situation. 32 मा 32 हुँदाखेरि there is not enough, what do you say, chalpal, right? We don't have enough discussion. Before a decision is taken, there is not enough consultation, right? Sometimes there might be good results, but the process is not foolproof, right? If you consult the right people, if you have the right discussions, better things can be achieved. In the absence of any opposition, in the absence of any pressure. So what is opposition? Opposition is not just members in the assembly.
Yeah.
Paila Sikkim ma election elect bhako opposition and then they switch sides.
Yeah, right.
So just having the numbers means nothing. So what do we mean by opposition? We mean a pressure that has an effect. Because the problem right now, what I said earlier is, what will happen if you do very deadly, strong journalism? If the government chooses to ignore you, no one is coming out on the streets.
Yeah, right.
Saying, oh, he said such a nice thing, why don't you listen? Right? So the real danger, so the problem is not the numbers, the problem is the absence of pressure. There has to be pressure to perform better, not pressure to be scared, but pressure to keep performing better. So if there is a risk of losing elections, political parties will conduct themselves better. If there are people who keep asking the right questions, they will prepare themselves better with the right answers.
Right answers.
And because I'm not saying that when we raise a question, we are exposing anything. But in the absence of someone being able to give us the right answer, the image that is going out is they don't care. So that I think is that is harmful.
That is harmful. Hey, one of I just in the piece of advice for all the journalists, no, and or the media person also. Who are not a journalist, but they are no, it's spreading the news, and in their society among the group. And while as a topic, so how they will prepare because for the future, because as current scenario we can see that as you also mentioned कि individually गरेको चाहिँ कोही बाटोमा आउँदैन. Whenever you do a strong journalism or you can stand against the government also हैन भनेको चाहिँ कुन प्रकारले चाहिँ जर्नलिजम गर्नु चाहिँ सठिक हुन्छ so that they will prepare it.
No, it's very simple. The rules don't change. Situation जे पनि भयो भने journalism rules don't change.
Okay.
Our job is the same. We have to be truthful. Facts matter. We have to try and give as complete a story as possible. We do not add our own opinion because opinions change.
Opinions,
Right? We cannot doctor a story. I think a lot of people do that. And which means I do not see, I've met a lot of people, I'm guilty of it when I was young, is we think that if I do not say it strongly enough, or if I don't use a lot of adjectives, people will not understand how good or bad this is. I think we should respect our audience. We should respect our audience that if I give them the information, they will understand and they will take the right decisions. So that is one, right? Do not forget the basics of journalism. And the other would be build strong institutions. Because like you said, individuals can be good or bad, but institutions can be strong and wrong. So our responsibility as journalists is to make our institutions strong, whether that is a media house or whether that is the Press Club of Sikkim or the Journalist Union of Sikkim, whatever. We have to make these institutions strong because when I am in trouble, they come to my defense.
They come to it.
And they help me do a good job.
Yeah. See, this is the most prominent question because everywhere we can see that it's very hard to self-existence. No, to if you be like a good journalist or if you unbiasedly do, it's very hard to exist. And some are like do some biased news and some kind of yellow journalism. So we have seen in the hill area, as you know also. So how to like protect themselves, the journalists or ourselves, to not come on that radar?
I don't know. I mean, I have been part of 3 publications that shut down. Okay, so asking me for like financial advice is not the best thing. But see, the kind of journalism that you're talking about is not sustainable.
Yeah, it's not sustainable.
Because I was telling some group last time that if AI becomes better, then they will not have any need to hold press conferences. So what do you do then? I'm talking about people who spend money on the media. So, and I don't think it's an excuse to not do your job well. We cannot say that I have to make a living and hence I will compromise on my profession. Then do something else. Because our Kanpattima banduk rakhera ta journalist banako haina ni.
Oh, right.
Like you made that choice yourself. You knew what you were getting in. That said, that is, so that's very superficial level of things. But organizations like Press Club and Journalist Union have a role to play there. Because if they come up and set the basic standards of what journalists should be paid, you media houses cannot hire a journalist for less than this, then I do not need to constantly be making compromises. I'm probably worried about my career. So that job security or something like that, our organizations can provide us. But beyond that, I believe that if you do good work, in the end, your audience, your society, your community will realize it and will support. Of course, like it's not social service, right?
But the journalism is totally socially because it had a social role. You are serving for society.
You are serving society, but even NGOs do not serve society at the cost of their kitchens, right? Because I have to do well to do my job even better. So that is there, right? So I don't, like we should not become activists. Our activism has to be to a profession. I have to keep trying to become better journalist. And if I do my job well, society will be served.
No, journalists shouldn't be activists.
Change society.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, that's the society's job, right? Our job is to inform the society, and hopefully the society will
Society will decide what
to do with it.
Yeah. Means journalists shouldn't be an activist. You mean?
It gets problematic, right? Because the moment you become part of any cause, then you cannot report on that cause properly. Then you're already biased.
Bias, yeah.
As it is, we are biased. And then, especially then, if you become party to a movement or something like that, then your journalism gets compromised. Right? So if you want to serve a cause, if you want to serve an issue well, do your job well is all.
Okay, last question. These days, every political party have their own media channel, right? And their own, I think they have a good setup. They have one proper media channel setup. So,
How have credibility, no? I mean, because not for credibility, we know that this is one side of the story.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. So, how to keep themselves existence? What I'm trying to say that they already have a good equipment, everything they have a well because they have a good money. No, like financially they're very strong. So, whosoever running a small media house, so no, yeah, automatically अब ठुलो पैसाले त सानोले त दबाइहाल्छ नि त इभन द दे used to have a large audience नि त अनि त्यो सानो जसले गरिराखेको छ उनीहरूले चाहिँ कुन प्रकारले चाहिँ आफ्नो लेभल माथि गर्नुको लागि चाहिँ उहाँले चाहिँ होइन त्यो खाले चाहिँ कामहरू गरोस् त्यो खाले चाहिँ आफूले एक्जिस्टेन्सलाई चाहिँ सस्टेन गर्न सकोस् जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई
you have to create better content. See, like it's like a political party media house, political parties media cell, their spokespersons will never be able to do the stories, or they will never have the freedom to pick and choose which stories they want to tell. If you look at media houses also, which political party media cell people follow? Opposition. Because ruling, we know everything already, right? We know that, okay, they'll say some things, they'll not say some things. Opposition, at least entertainment. They'll level allegations and say strong things or whatever. It's more entertaining. I mean, look at SKM also right now. I mean, SKM, when it was in opposition, I think their page and their content used to go viral all the time.
yeah
Which is not the case anymore. It won't be, right? I mean, you're limited by circumstances. So, a journalist will never have those limitations. So, the way we compete with big money is through content. So, we do the stories that they can't, or they won't. And then the people, and I don't mean by that we do like necessarily negative or doctored stories, but tell the stories that some organizations cannot. So work to your strength. I tell this to everyone, that you should just be, what is the word for it? True. As in, don't try to become something else. Don't try to become something. No, because that you can't ever be, right?
yeah
And at the same time, no one can be you. You are the best
yeah
version of yourself.
yeah
So let's just do that and tell stories. We got to look at any organization that we feel threatened by and then say, okay, what is it that they can't do and I can do better? And I'll keep doing that because that will make me, that will improve me and improve it.
Okay, if
Not really, but anyways.
just my question is, if some media house who is struggling to run their houses and some political party want to fund them, whether they should take to run their houses or they just leave it crashes and leave it and go for some choose other profession. What do you want to suggest? Because this thing is happening in our region, as you know that very well.
Yeah. So, see, if you do it transparently, if we say that, okay, my newspaper was shutting down, my channel was shutting down, and this person has invested the money on it, you tell your audience that. And then continue, because you've told, and you tell them that, okay, there is this money, but I will not let it influence. We cannot hide truth. I mean, in today's time, we cannot hide info.
Everything is now.
If you take it, then you go public with it. I mean, I don't know what, these are personal choices people make. It will affect your journalism.
It will affect the journalism.
It will affect your journalism. So what like I said, I've been responsive. You just want to suggest, just go for the public.
Our channel is for
to go. Yeah. I mean, you could do that, right? You could do that.
That can kill their creativity. No, that can ruin their career also.
I think it is worse, man. Here I've told the people, now people every time, see, it's like this. Look at Al Jazeera.
Yeah, Al Jazeera.
It does not report on the country it is from. But for the rest of the world, it does a very good job.
Yeah, very good job.
Same thing. If a political party has funded me, my deal will be, I will not write about you. Good or bad.
Good or bad.
And I will just not write about you. Good or bad. Baki sabke bare mein I should have freedom to write.
Okay.
And I tell the people this. So every media, every voice has a space, right? There is a place for everyone. And like you got to find our corners.
Yeah. And last, what you want to say to the youth, young generation, young blood, who are like pursuing journalism and they are trying to see their career in the journalism? No. What do you want to advise?
Who am I to advise? But no, welcome.
You have a series of experience, so you know that how the industry works. So yeah, so how they should prepare themselves.
I'll welcome them to the profession. I think it's wonderful. I don't think there's any other profession that allows you to meet so many people and still be an individual self or speak to so many different people and question them and sometimes be liked for what you do and sometimes not. So, but only advice would be work hard. There's no compromise for that. Work hard and never stop being inquisitive. I think a day a journalist says, okay, I'll just go and do my work, is when it's over. So, yeah, do that.
Okay, thank you so much. Thanks. Okay, thank you so much.
अब आफ्नै सपनाको घर पूरा गर्ने समय आएको छ। लो मेन्टेनेन्स, स्ट्रेस फ्री लिभिङ एक्सपिरियन्स, रूफटप एमिनिटिज, ओपन सराउन्डिङ्स, पर्फेक्ट ब्लेन्ड अफ सनलाइट, एयर एन्ड पिस। सपना जस्तै नयाँ फ्ल्याट तपाईको आफ्नै घर अब वास्तविकतामा। किन हाम्रो फ्ल्याट? स्थान उत्कृष्ट लोकेसन, बजार, स्कुल, अस्पताल नजिकै। डिजाइन आधुनिक आर्किटेक्चर, फराकिलो कोठाहरू, सुविधाहरू 24/7 सुरक्षा, लिफ्ट, पार्किङ, खेल्ने ठाउँ। मूल्य योजनाहरू सहज किस्ती सुविधा उपलब्ध छ। 1 BHK, 2 BHK र 3 BHK। फ्ल्याट भिजिटका लागि तुरुन्त सम्पर्क गर्नुहोस्। फोन नम्बर 9800640006। एड्रेस मिलिटरी रोड, मतिगढा बिडिओ अफिस लेन, बैरातीसाल, सिलिगुडी। अब ढिलो नगर्नुहोस्, तपाईको नयाँ घर पर्खिरहेको छ।